We begin tonight with in-depth coverage of the tragedy in Taunton. We're learning new details about the disturbing series of events that unfolded last night, leaving 2 innocent victims dead and several more injured before their attacker was gunned down by an off-duty sheriff's deputy.
And today, investigators identified the deceased as 56-year-old George Heath, a teacher at the Greater New Bedford Regional VOTEC who was killed trying to stop an attack on a pregnant waitress. An 80-year-old woman, Patricia Slavin, was the victim of a seemingly random attack inside her Taunton home while she was having dinner with her daughter.
Now investigators are trying to pinpoint what prompted 28-year-old Arthur DeRosa of Taunton to leave his daughter's soccer game and go on the murderous rampage, which began with him terrorizing a Myrick Street neighborhood around 6:30 last night, then crashing into the Macy's at Silver City Galleria and targeting multiple women inside the mall.
Assaulting people, trying to carjack cars, running up the houses, stabbing 2 people who he apparently doesn't even know in the home, driving a vehicle into the mall. It's beyond comprehension.
Eyewitness News reporters Jared Pliner and Madeline Wright are standing by with new information on the investigation and the attacker.
But first, let's go live to Steve Nielsen at Silver City Galleria in Taunton with more on the heroic teacher who tragically lost his life.
Well, it is truly devastating to listen to George Heath's wife talk about her late husband, but she says he leaves behind quite a legacy. Rosemary Heath says she had a good life with her husband, George.
He was just a happy guy. You couldn't ask for a nicer, happy guy.
Tuesday night, date night for the couple. George died after trying to defend a waitress, his wife, and another man.
The man pulled his arm out of my husband's grip and stabbed him in the head. And then the other man came around the corner with the gun, and he told him, put down your weapon, and he wouldn't. And he saved me because I was the only other person there to be hurt. And he shot him. And it was awful. It was absolutely horrific.
She says saving lives was in George's character.
My husband was a loving, caring man. He loved teaching his students. That was everything to him.
He was teaching students at New Bedford VOTEC school for the last 4 years.
Heartbreaking to know that someone as kind and genuine as George Heath lost his life for no reason at all.
I mean, it's just what he does, and he didn't think twice about it, but he lost his life.
And the superintendent said it was a very difficult day at school for him and also all of those 300 students that he interacts with there. Coming up new at 6, we'll go more in depth with George Heath's wife about why she calls him a hero, and also another man who says George Heath saved his life in the restaurant as well. Well, George Heath's wife wanted to talk with us because she wanted everyone to know her husband is a hero. Rosemary Heath says life with her husband George was perfect.
He just loved to laugh. Loved it. He was the funniest guy you could ever possibly imagine. He had so much love for everybody.
Tuesday night, she says a man was stabbing a woman in Bertucci's in Taunton. Her husband ran in, sacrificing himself to save 3 others.
My husband jumps up and starts to struggle with him. The man pulled his arm out of my husband's grip and stabbed him in the head.
He seemed possessed. He was very difficult to stop.
Jim Casey was at the bar and says the attacker went right at him for a brief moment before George saved his life.
He reached for the knife, created enough of a diversion for me to run out of there. Yeah, he's a hero. Yeah, it took a lot of courage to do what he did.
And he didn't think twice about getting up and jumping after this guy with the knife. He didn't think about it. He just did it. And I want that to be his legacy, that he did, that's what he did. He's unselfish. Every day, he did everything for me. He should be seen as a hero.
And if you saw Jim Casey in that interview, we actually spoke to him here in this parking lot. That's because he came here to talk to us because he too wanted everyone to know that George saved his life and was a hero. Shannon, Mike.
Steve, hard not to be emotionally impacted by that interview with George Heath's widow. What else did she have to say about her husband?
Well, she kept talking about how this was really in his character, and a story that she told to describe that I thought was so interesting. She said that she was at Providence Place Mall a few years back with George, and they saw a man, a stranger, get his phone stolen by another man. George, instead of just watching it and standing back, actually gave chase, followed that man, and got his phone back for a complete stranger. So clearly within his character to do something like that. And I do want to say, coming up new at 6:30, we're going to talk a little bit more with Jim Casey and have more of his eyewitness account and why he does say that George is a hero.
All right, Eyewitness News reporter Steve Nielsen, who's live at the Silver City Galleria in Taunton tonight. Steve, thank you.